What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Hong Kong action review. This week we're taking a look at the Corey Yuen directed film Righting Wrongs, aka Above the Law. He also appears in this film, and I've decided to go ahead and proceed with this review and also bump up some other Corey Yuen films in the rotation, such as The Legend of Fong Yuk-suk, the first one will be my next Martial Arts Monday review. The reason is I've just found out, as many people have, that Corey Yuen actually passed away in 2022. It was announced by Jackie Chan on social media in China a few days ago. So as of a few days ago, IMDb did not have a death date. That only appeared this morning in August of 2024. So I'm not sure if it was kept a total secret from everybody. I don't really know the circumstances or the reason for that, but his death has been announced, and it's actually very sad occurrence. He was a major force in Hong Kong cinema, that is for sure. Starring in and directing many films, working as a fight choreographer behind the scenes on many films as well, including many Hollywood productions. He was in the Seven Little Fortunes Peking Opera Troupe. So he went through the same schooling that Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan, and Yuen Biao did. He was pretty much not quite as athletic as the other three, and he was therefore kind of drawn towards directing. So he sort of followed right behind Sammo Hung as far as the directing goes. And he worked with just about everybody. I mean, Sammo and Jackie Chan and Yuen Biao, who's essentially the star of this film, Cynthia Rothrock. He really had a really strong partnership with Jet Li, directing him in these two films, and he would appear in the second one. Takeshi Kaneshiro and Yuen Biao again in Hero. He would have small parts in Millionaire's Express, directed by Sammo Hung, and movies like Chinese Hercules with Bolo Yeung. But he also worked with, made several films in France, Kiss of the Dragon and The Transporter with Jason Statham. And of course, even before that, he directed No Retreat, No Surrender in the States with Kurt McKinney and the young Jean-Claude Van Damme as the villain. Kind of a groundbreaking film. Worked with a lot of Western actors as well. Now, I got to see No Retreat, No Surrender on a big screen with the Mystery Science Theater cast live. So Joel Hodgson was there riffing on the movie with some of not the classic guys, Trace Ballou and everyone else, but some of the newer cast. It was funny, and yeah, you can make fun of that movie, but it's a pretty groundbreaking film. For him to come over into the United States at that time, and then actually have a young Jean-Claude Van Damme in his film, that was, opened up a lot of doors. So yeah, very sad news, and I figured today for a Hong Kong action review, we'll go ahead and do Righting Wrongs, a very appropriate film to do, to sort of commemorate the life and career of Corey Yuen, considering that he directed it quite well, I might add, and he also has a pretty significant part in the film, playing a character called Stink Egg, or Bad Egg, depending on the translation, a slovenly cop who works alongside, there he is, who works alongside Cynthia Rothrock to figure out who is killing all of these bad guys. It turns out it's a prosecutor, a frustrated prosecutor, played by Yuen Biao, who's essentially the star of this film. This film really has a great international flair to it. It also stars Karen Shepard. There she is with her rope dart. And Peter Cunningham as an assassin. So much like Undeclared War, which I reviewed a few weeks ago on the channel. Go ahead and check out that review. It begins in a foreign country and has an international cast. In this case, it begins in New Zealand, where a mentor of the Yuen Biao character in the legal profession is assassinated in cold blood. And then we go back to Hong Kong, and there's several corrupt businessmen on trial. One of them is played by James Tien, by the way, who appeared in several early Bruce Lee movies, which I reviewed on the channel, The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, who's at this point has become a very solid character actor. And these guys are just like beyond cocky. And during the trial, they find out that the witnesses to their crimes and their children, because it's a Hong Kong action film from the 80s, can't spare the children, and their children have all been wiped out. And we actually get to see that, the assassin do all of that, shoot all the parents and then blow up the building with the crying children in it. So the Ewan Biel character is pretty furious. The case collapses, and he even has a little powwow with the judge, and who kind of sympathizes with him, but says, well, that's the law. Even though the judge at one point makes a gun out of his finger as the bad guys are walking by the window and pulls the trigger. He's almost giving Ewan Biel some ideas here, so the Ewan Biel character starts to take care of business. He starts to go after these guys, and he begins by rappelling down the side of a building and finding out where they're stashing their cash, and he eliminates a couple guys. But then we also find out that the bad guys are connected to a trusted figure in authority, and I won't even say who it is, but that guy does a great job. He's a great villain. This film is notable for having a few different endings, so I watched what they call the depressing or downbeat ending. I think it's the Cantonese version. So at some point I may revisit this film with some more spoilers, but I'm going to keep it kind of brief. And then we meet the police. You've got the stink egg character played by Corey Yuen himself, who's a slovenly cop, who kind of says some rude things in front of what he thinks is just a Western woman, played by Cynthia Rothrock, and turns out she is his superior, and she speaks Cantonese, so he gets egg all over his face, no pun intended, and they start to work together to solve these murders. And his character is very good in this, because he's kind of a slob. He has a great relationship with his dad, who's also a police officer, who's played by Wu Ma. You know, they're constantly on each other. You drink too much, you smoke too much, all this stuff. And it's a very good relationship, and I won't tell you what happens, but as a director, Corey Yuen was not afraid to go into some pretty dark and depressing territory. So you see that. At one point, one of the bad guys chides one of the heroes and says, "You want to be a hero?" And he points to a dead body on the floor and says, "Yeah, this is what happens to heroes." So yeah, I watched the sad ending, so it doesn't really work out for many people at all in this film, let me tell you. So like I said, I'll go ahead and watch the other alternate ending in the future. But Corey Yuen just, he was not afraid to go there, even though, like many of these films, there are some comedic moments as well. A lot of them revolving around the Corey Yuen character, as he's just such a slob. Great fight scenes, great stunt work. There's some obvious use of stunt people in some cases, especially involving heights and jumping and things like that. A great classic fight between Cynthia Rothrock and Karen Shepard. One of the great all-time female-on-female fights in film, and just a great fight in general. I think a fight that's well beloved by fans. And then a great climax in an airplane hangar. There's all kinds of barrels and rolling around, and people are jumping off of planes, and eventually the Ewan Biel character chases after a plane. Like Indiana Jones chasing after the convoy on a horse, he chases after a plane and jumps on it as it's taking off, and I'm afraid of heights, so it almost made me nauseous, but yeah, really good stunt work in this film, and great directorial effort by Corey Yuen. He's great in the film, probably one of his better roles, actually, to be honest with you. But I'm looking forward to highlighting some more of his films, and like I said, next Monday, for Martial Arts Monday, I'm going to bump up Legend of Fong Yuk Suk #1 into the rotation. I had originally planned on doing Fist of Legend with Jet Li, but we'll do that the week after, I think. So there you go, guys. Have you seen Righting Wrongs? Which one's your favorite version? What are your thoughts about Corey Yuen and his remarkable career? Let me know in the comments below. And come back again next time for more Martial Arts Monday and also Hong Kong action reviews. Thanks. Later.